Okay, friends, how's it going? All right. So, today, what? How are you guys all doing today? Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. Hello from Vancouver, Canada. Hello. Is Tina Lo-Fi Girl? Not that I'm aware of, but my camera seems to keep flipping out on me. Okay. So, welcome to today's live stream. Oh gosh, why is this doing that? Okay, don't move. Don't move. Okay. So, what are we going to be doing today? Today, I'm going to be covering building AI agents. So, instead of just jumping straight into the agent workflow, just like kind of building it completely, I'm actually going to first go over some of the principles of building AI agents. So, bear with me on that because there's a lot of people on YouTube and just like TikTok and like in IG who are creating what they call like AI agents, but they're not actually agents. There's really just like work streams that people are creating with no code instead of just like they could have just do it through code. So that's why I want to actually go through like what exactly is an AI agent, um and when it's appropriate to build it, and what is an actual like AI agent work stream as opposed to just like a random work stream that you're creating, right? Then I'm going to jump into NA-end where we're going to use this no code tool. I'm going to show you the work stream that it's a very simple work stream to build, and then you can also try it out yourself. Actually, let me put the link over here. If you want the work stream and like notebooks and all the resources from this live stream, please do sign up over here, and do sign up because we explain everything. I'm going to explain things, I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to have time to like say like go through every single step, right? But if you want like the work stream and additional resources, so other work streams as well, like demos and things like that, just sign up over there. And please do that now because we usually send out the email for the previous live stream, all the resources, like around like an hour or two after the live stream ends. So every time there's a live stream, you sign up for this, you'll get a notification, and then you just get another email afterwards with all the resources there. Make sense? Okay. So after I do that, this is gonna be like a no code example because I want to make it very accessible to people. Honestly speaking, like having played around with the no code tools and the no code tools are good, but they're still pretty finicky at this point. And I think you'll kind of see this as I'm building through it and I show you like what it is that we're building. It's still like finicky stuff that's happening. So for those of you who are familiar with code or are interested in code, I also really recommend that you check out Crew AI or like what's it called? AutoGen or something like that. So I'll also show you guys some notebooks that they have and some short courses that they have as well. That it's going to be a lot more powerful and also a lot less finicky than the no code tools. And if there's enough interest, if you want me to go through like the coding versions of it, I don't think I have time to do this during this live stream, but I could do another live stream showing you guys how to do that. But really, like having played around with no code tools and the code tools, ultimately speaking, like you can get away with no code tools, and you'll see what we're gonna do today, but it really is just not the same. Makes sense? When does this start? It is starting now. Hi from Toronto, here due to FOMO. Well, hello, friend. Hello from Peru. Hello from Nigeria. Hello from Pakistan. Hello, my friends. Boston, Glasgow. Wow. Okay. All right. I actually want to first show you guys what it is that it's like a very simple work stream, and I also have to give credit to someone called David Andre. He is amazing, so you should check out his video as well, which I will also link in the email to you guys. So he was the one that I was watching his videos and taught me about like no code tools, because I kind of like default to using code tools to build it. So a lot of credit goes to him as well for building out this work stream. I kind of like simplified it a lot, so it's something that we are going to be able to cover, but I want to show you guys what it looks like. All right, so here it is. I think you can see that, right? Maybe. Okay, I think you can see that. Okay, so this is what the work stream looks like, but I'm going to show you guys like what it can do first. I think it's a lot easier. And yeah, I'm just like looking at documentation because I did not know how to do it. Okay, so this is creating like an Inky bot. So this is my Telegram over here. And what you can do, just ignore that. You can just say something like hello, what events do I have today? How do I clear Telegram? Okay, whatever, it's fine. What events do I have scheduled today? Run that. So that's on test mode right now, but all of this executes and we wait, workflow executed, and it's able to tell me here my scheduled event, which is the live stream is happening right now, and it is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Hong Kong time because I'm in Hong Kong. And then I also have an interview where I'm going to be interviewing an assistant because I'm looking for an assistant at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Hong Kong time, and that is correct. And just to verify this, oh, shit. That is indeed what I have on my calendar for today. Additionally, you have an event for 7:40 to 8:40 a.m., but it seems to be an unlisted event. That is also true because it's unlisted. And then sales, this bot is also supposed to be able to help me prioritize what I'm supposed to be doing. So, for example, like today after the live stream. Okay, so today after the live stream, some other things I want to do include going on a hike, looking over my budget. What else do I have to do today? My endless to-do list. Let's see. I like actually do have an endless to-do list. Start exploring next video ideas. There's a lot that is happening here. Could you help me prioritize? Let's run this. Executing. Oh shit. I guess I just like decided to schedule it directly. That works too, I guess. Go on a hike 9:15 to 10:15, look over budget, start exploring new video ideas. I guess that works too. Let me see if it actually scheduled it. Oh, it actually did. Okay. Well, I was gonna prioritize first, so maybe it's not. This is something that we can actually work on to refine the prompt a little bit more. But if you guys can see, can you see? Does it? So I have the workshop, and it does have go on a hike, and then look over budget, start exploring new video ideas, and then I have the assistant interview. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? That is what we're gonna be able to. Whoa, the white balance. Okay, cool. Let's just I'm just curious. I go like, well, I didn't want you to schedule it yet, but that's okay. Do you think this is a reasonable timeline for today? Run this. So when I actually have this, when we actually want it to be used, we can use we can make this into active, and then it would just be completely usable. But right now we're still in test mode, so that's why I have to keep running it manually. It's fine. We can refine the prompt. So the prompt that I have over here is basically, this is a system prompt. So I'm basically telling it that you're a helpful assistant. I'll give you a list of things that I need to get done for today. You will read my Google Calendar events for today and then help me prioritize and schedule time blocked events for what I need to get done for today. And I say that it has access to the following tools, which is to create a Google Calendar event and also to read the calendar event, and then some instructions about making sure that what today's day is. So probably what we need to do to refine this a little more as we go through things is I think I need to make this a little bit more. Oh shoot, I wasn't even sharing my screen. That's awkward. Okay. Well, yeah, sorry. Here's the system prompt. Yeah, but I think what I actually need to do, and as we're going through this, is we need to like refine this prompt so that it's not as direct. I think right now the prompt is pretty much like read it, prioritize my schedule, and then just time blocked events directly. So I think we need to have it like a little bit more interactive, right? Like we probably need to add instructions that say like do not schedule an event until I tell you to do so. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Let me kind of like, I'll explain this in a bit, but just to give you a taste for a very, very, very simple work stream that you can build using N8N. Okay, so now I'm going to go more into the theory part of things because it is very important for us to know what the hell it is that we're actually building. Just want to see if anybody has any comments so far about how the bot works. Does it make sense? What app is this? It's N8N. Yeah. Getting to see test mode is pretty. You're not sharing it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but you guys can see what I mean though now, right? Destructure the data. Okay, so I hope that was exciting for you guys to see what you can do. So I'm like, okay, now that you guys are a little excited, I must come and now show you first some of this because I did something. I get that it's not the coolest thing ever to have to go through theory, but I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try to go through this as quickly as possible because I'm not gonna call out any names, but I don't know, like, I don't want to be rude and call out people's names, but I see a lot of workflows where people are making agents where they're just sort of like what they do is they just kind of they make something like a database interpreter, right? Where they'll connect an agent that's able to pull out data and put in data. But the nature of building an agent is that it's supposed to be autonomous, not deterministic. So what people end up doing is that they're building these like workflows and calling them agentic workflows, when in fact, if you're just pulling out data and putting it back in again, you can use an agent to do that, but that's like a deterministic workflow. The whole point is that you want to give breathing room to the agent. Allow it to choose what tools to use. Like what I was showing earlier, it has access to like different types of tools. Like you want it to be able to choose what it is that it needs to do. That's where the power comes from. So yeah. Let me go back here. Okay, so building effective agents. This is a article from Anthropic, which I think it is quite good in terms of telling you how it is that you can build effective agents. So here's the part that says agents can be defined in several ways. Some customers define agents as fully autonomous systems that operate independently over extended periods using various tools to accomplish complex tasks. Others use the term to describe more prescriptive implementations that follow predefined workflows. What I was saying earlier about people who are just doing like predefined workflows. So that's what some people are doing, but really like that is not really considered an agent. At Anthropic, we categorize all these various agentic systems, but draw an important architectural distinction between workflows and agents. So workflows are systems where LLMs and tools are orchestrated through predefined code paths. And agents, on the other hand, are systems where LLMs dynamically direct their own processes and tool use, maintaining control over how they accomplish the task. Okay, and the part of the article here is basically saying that when you're building applications using LLMs, you should always go with the simplest solution possible. So if you can do something deterministically and you don't need to have agents, and especially if you don't need to have like multi-agents, because that's multiple agents, you're increasing, every time you increase the number of agents, we're increasing things surrounding something. You're think about it as increasing the chaos surrounding it. You're opening up possibilities, but you're also taking away from your control over what the agents actually do. So I always try to go with the simplest possible solution. to do something. So if you're just trying to query a database, right, and you're trying to like get information out of it and get information, put information back into it, that's a good workflow. But you don't need to be using an agent to do that, and that's not really like an agentic workflow to begin with. Honestly, at that point, like just learn some SQL. Like you can just query things directly, or say if you're categorizing things as well into different buckets or different categories, those are not agentic systems. They're just simply workflows that you can do using agents if you don't know how to code, but in itself they're not actually defined as agents. Okay, so in Anthropic, like they don't list NAN because I think there's still, yeah, like their assumption, like this is more for developers, so their assumption is that you're going to be using coding tools. So these are some examples of coding tools that you can use, but you can actually do some like pretty similar things as well using NAN and no code tools as well. Okay, so here's the building block, the augmented LLM, right? This is the building block of everything. And this LLM over here, you can choose like whatever it is, the LLM that you want, and then you have an input to the LLM, and then you have an output to the LLM as well. And what the LM can do is that it has the ability to query results retrieval. It can call and respond to using different tools, and it can also read and write into memory or into a database. So this is the basic building block when you're creating any sort of agentic workflow. See if anybody has any comments or thoughts. Is this possible with ChatGPT? Yes, it is. In fact, this is what I'm using. Well, I'm using OpenAI's. I'm not using ChatGPT directly, but I'm using OpenAI's AI models when I was building that agent, when I was building that agentic workflow I was showing you earlier. And this is actually, you know, that's a great example. Let me show you here, right? So let me kind of show you this kind of full workflow, and specifically the one for the agents is the one over here. So the way that this workflow works is that it has a Telegram trigger. So that's why I can use Telegram. You know, when I said over here, hello, what events do I have scheduled today? That was the trigger point. And then here's a switch. So this the agentic workflow has actually like text and voice that you can do with it. So this part is the text will just go into the text field and directly feed into the AI agent as a input. Here you can also use voice, so taking Telegram to get the voice information, and we're using OpenAI to transcribe the recording into text and feeding it back into the agent again. So both versions of this. And let me actually demonstrate how this works. So I think you can like see it in real time. So let's try this again. Like, hello, what events do I have scheduled for today? That's the trigger, and we're testing the workflow. You can see here, right? It's going here, it's going through here. In this case, because it's text, is going through the edit field. It's extracting the information as input. The AI agent is taking that information, and you're getting an output from it, right? And the last part of this, where Telegram is sending the information back. So a Telegram is coming here and then telling me whatever is happening within whatever happened. It's taking the answer from the LLM, the agent, and then putting it back in Telegram as a response. So let's actually take a closer look. I'll show you guys the audio version as well, just because for completeness what it looks like. So we'll just do the same thing. Hello, what events do I have scheduled for today? Hello, what events do I have scheduled for today? And hopefully this should also work. So see, in this case, you saw that it flowed through and it went down the audio path over here. And same thing goes through the agent, blah, 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 processing, right, execution, and we have the same results over here. Okay, so now let's actually take a closer look in terms of the agent itself. But first, does anybody have any questions about the way that the workflow is built? It is raw text, yes. The information that is being fed into the agents is raw text. I think one of the reasons why you even want to be using an LLM in the first place is because you're feeding it natural language. Like if you're using something that's just you're feeding the information from Telegram directly, like you don't need to use an agent or an LLM for that. You can just directly code that in, right? Like there's no need for the LLM to be able to interpret that natural language. That is where LLMs are really powerful, because it's able to take in natural language as input. So you can have an offline agent on your PC. You can. Where can we find the article? Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat, but again, please do just sign up for, like, I'll email you guys all the resources that are available after as well. So just please sign up for there, do that within like the next, like now, and we'll send everything within like a couple hours, including that workflow that I showed you on NAN. I do have a free trial for NAN, so I think it's like a 14-day free trial or something like that. So you can actually run it yourself when you do get it too. And it should work, probably. Here's about the cost. Yeah, so NAN is like 14-day free trial, and then it costs like $20 or something, like $30 per month, which is actually quite a lot. And that's like another reason for, me plugging, like learning how to code a little bit, because if you do, you can decrease that cost like so substantially. It is free, I believe, if you use only thing you need to pay for is the LLM itself. But if you're using like Crew AI, or if you're using AutoGen, like it's completely free. You can code it and you can do whatever you want with it. So, but since we're doing a no code tool, you do have to pay for this. Can't wait to try this custom integration with Python. Yeah, I think if you're going to use Python, like if you know how to code, I definitely would go for Crew AI. I think it's the best approach for people who know how to code. I think it's the most robust one. AutoGen is okay as well, and I'll show you guys in a bit, but it's a little bit more, like there's a lot more flexibility to it. But yeah, if you know how to code, go for Crew AI. Or you can use NAN too, if you don't mind the cost. All right, let me actually go through will this be posted? Yes, it is posted. Everything will still be here afterwards, don't worry. You know what? I'm just gonna pin this, so if anybody is here, I'm just gonna pin the message. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the agent over here. Seems like you all understand, right? You understand like this very simple flow that's happening over here going through Telegram. So all this is like the cool part where the AI agent is going to come in. Okay, so within the AI agent, this is a tool agent and the edit field. So this is all the information that is going in here. Remember what I was building an agent? Like, yeah, so here, the input, LM, and output, this is exactly what this is. Input information. So this is all the information that is going to be going into the AI agent. DLM over here, and here's the schema, like here's the JSON version of that as well. So yeah, it's just like different formats for how the information is going in, but you can see hello, what events do I have scheduled for today. So this is the text input that I was directly inputting in. Okay, so here I have a system message because I wanted to give it information about how to use the tools that I'm giving it and what it is that it's supposed to do. So what I have here is you're a helpful assistant. I will give you a list of things I need you to get done for today. You will read my Google Calendar events for today and then help me prioritize and schedule time blocked events for what I need to get done for today. Then I'm telling it has two different tools available, which is the create calendar tool. So you can create a calendar events on the user's Google Calendar. Make sure that you're setting the start and end times accordingly. And then there's the read calendar event tool. So you can see all the events of the user's Google Calendar. And make sure to take notes of today's date. Do not access data from the past or future dates. So the tools that I'm providing it here, the create calendar event and also the get calendar event. See, so chat model, memory, and tools, right? Same here, chat model, memory, and tools. Order is a little bit different. In this case, we don't actually need it to have a memory, but we can have two different tools that are created over here. And you know what? I'm actually going to recreate this part right now for you guys just because it's kind of boring if let me just copy this in case I forget what I'm supposed to do. Okay. It's kind of boring if I just go through this without doing anything. So I'm actually going to get rid of these parts. I want to show you guys what happens here. 1 second. Okay. You know what? Yeah. Okay, so here what we're going to do is actually add the tools back in. So the tools that we want to have over here is going to be the Google Calendar tool. Google Calendar, actually, yeah, let me just show you the fact if it doesn't have anything, like if we try to run it right now. Let's just go like, hi, what events? Sorry, let's clear the session. And if I just type something like, hi, what events do I have for today? It would say, I'll check your Google Calendar to see what events you have scheduled today. Please hold on for a moment. It says that, so it's kind of hallucinating because it doesn't actually have the ability to check with the tools, right? While previously it was able to give you all the information here. So the memory, sorry, not memory. So the tool that we want to add over here is like two tools. So Google Calendar tool here. So here's like when you set your credentials over here. So you can create new credential and then all you have to do is sign in with Google. Like it's really, really simple. Yeah, in this case, like I would just sign in through here. I'm gonna do that now so I won't show my credentials accidentally, but you can, it's like it's honestly super easy to do. And all you have to do is put in your credentials and then give you access to Google Calendar. So I'm going to go with this one. The tool is that we're going to set manually, the resource is the event. So you want to, for it to be able to create an event, for example, right? And the start time, actually, let's do the read events first. So you can see here, you can just choose like get many. So retrieve many events from a calendar. And then you can select a list of the calendar that you want to do. And in this case, it would be, let's say like this one, right? We'll limit it to max number of results to return. 50 is fine. Yeah. And this should be fine. This is saying that it's able to get calendar event information from now until now plus 1 week. So it's like within the span of 1 week, it would be able to have this information. So let's call this like Google Calendar. What did I call it last time? I think I called it read event. I forgot. Let me double check. Because when you're doing this, you also want to make sure that whatever tool it is that you're telling it has access to, you want to make sure the names actually match. So read calendar event here. Let's change this name here. Oops. Read calendar events. Okay, so rename it here. Great. And to test this out, I want to show you guys that fact that it should be able to read events now. So hi, what events do I have for today? Testing the workflow. Here you go. It's able to now tell you what the events are that you can start seeing for today. And just to see, remember when I was like trying to ask it to schedule for events. So obviously you can see now because it doesn't have the schedule event ability. So we would, if I just say something like, can you schedule an event for going to the gym at 3 p.m. So here are your scheduled events, free time until 6:30. You have a free slot, which is good. Time to schedule your gym session, proposed gym schedule. But if you actually look at the, if you actually, wait, let me show you guys my calendar. If you actually look at my calendar, you'll see that it hasn't actually scheduled it because it doesn't have that ability, right? So that's why we're going to add in another tool, which is the ability of scheduling an event. So let's do that now. Anybody have any comments so far? So the data to answer questions is the calendar, correct? Does that make sense? The what you're basically doing is that you're allowing the agent, you're giving a system prompt that it's able to take this information and schedule things for you and also read calendar events. But now we need to actually give it the tools in order to do so. And yeah, NAN gives you like a lot of different tools. You can see here, like there's a lot of different tools. There's like vector stores. You're able to put different memories over here. You can even make calls. You can also, oh yeah, also you can write code as well. So you can write a tool. You can write your own tool in either JavaScript or Python, if you know how to do that. But they also do provide a lot of like the basic tools here as well, like Airtable, pretty much like whatever it is that you want. If it's like big enough as a tool, it probably is going to be here, and Telegram is one of them that I was using previously, right? So in this case, and Google Calendar as well. So Google Calendar tool. The one that we want to do here is that, so still we want to schedule an event. And then the operation here is that we want to be able to create an event, right? And then from the list again, like we want to be able to select this one is the one that we care about. Okay, so here's the little bit of a tricky part. So there's a little bit of JavaScript inside for those of you who don't know, don't worry about it. It's not super important. So I want to show you what happens if I don't change this. What it's currently saying is that the start time is now and the end time is going to be now plus 1 hour, right? So this is a way of showing the end time is going to be plus 1 hour, and you can always click here. So each time of the event, use expression to set a date, or switch to fixed mode to choose date from widget. So if I didn't do anything, and let's just call it create, shoot, I keep forgetting what it's called. What did I call it again in the system prompt? Let me check again. Sorry, I don't have a very good memory. Create calendar event, right? Okay. Let me change that name to create calendar event. Okay, so say I did this and I decided to, oops, oh, I just hearted my own thing. So if I say something like, can you schedule an event for going to the gym at 3 p.m., right? And then we test this workflow. By the way, every time that you make a change is just best practice, just to continuously test what you're doing, or else something doesn't work. You don't know why it doesn't work. Okay, so it's gonna say, oh, like, look, I did this thing for you based on the schedule, be perfect, let's schedule the event, right? So it says it's going to do that. And you will find that, let me show you guys. What ends up happening is it does create, oops. Okay. Do you see here? Focus. Do you see there's a time from 7:40 until 8:40 called no title? This one. So it does create the event, but because we didn't change the parameters for when it needs to be scheduled. It doesn't have a title, and it also doesn't have information. It's just scheduled it for now, which is, well, not even, I don't even know why I scheduled it for 7:40 a.m. to 8:40 a.m. So this is like one of those examples where you're like, okay, shoot, this is not exactly what you're looking for, and takes a little bit of troubleshooting. But in this case, if you go over here to create calendar event, this is kind of the issue. And there's also documentation that you can link out as well. So for a Google Calendar node, if you don't actually know what's up, like you don't know what the problem is, generally if you just click on that and say like create event, it will give you information with documentation about it. So in this case, you can see that the start time for the event by default uses an expression valuing the current time, and then the end time for an event by default, this user has expression evaluating to an hour from now. So we realized like the issue that we have over here is because we're not able to specify the actual time that we actually want it to be scheduled. So what you gotta do is come over here, and it has a helpful little reminder here. It says, use the expression from AI placeholder name for any data to be filled by the model. So in this case, we want the model to actually fill the data, right? Because we're basically telling it to schedule it at 3 p.m. and that information is coming directly from the user to the model, and the model, the agent, needs to figure out what it actually should be scheduling. So instead of placeholder name over here, we're gonna call it start, and this is the expression. So yeah, don't worry about it. It's just, this is the way that you use JavaScript in order to give it information. So the start time which is going to be over here, the variable, and it also like helpfully tells you. So you put this key and a description, populate this with the parameter passed from the large language model. So here we're going to give it information like start I guess like we can just write something like the date and time of the event. And for the end date over here, the end time over here, it's going to be, here we're just going to call it end instead. And say to start the date and time, the date and time of the event. It's bad grammar. The day and time that the event starts. That's better grammar. Date and time that the event ends. Okay, great. And here, remember how we didn't have, when I was going through this earlier, it doesn't have a title. So that's why there's also this additional field area where you can add an additional field. In this case, you want to call it summary, and you can see what this is. It's called title of the event. I don't know why it's called summary, but sometimes you just need to go through these fields and like actually look at whatever this is. And also remember there's documentation here as well. So if you don't know what things are, you can just click out and then it will tell you specifically in the documentation what it is that each item is. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna do something similar. We also want the agent to be able to figure out itself what it is that the start and the end time is, as well as what the title should be. So in this case, we'll call it title, and here we'll give it instructions. So a title of the event, something like that. Okay. Now, if we do this, let me actually delete the calendar event that I just scheduled because that was not good. Okay, so I just deleted the event on my calendar. And now, if we go over here, try again. Oops. Can you schedule an event for the gym at 3 p.m.? And test workflow. Now we have our fingers crossed and we pray. Okay, doing its thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I have scheduled an event for 3 to 4 p.m. Did it actually work? Oh, interesting. It did not. Oh no, okay, it scheduled it for 3 p.m. I don't know if you guys can see. It did schedule it for 3 p.m. over here. But I think I fucked up on the title. So let's go back and see what did I do for the title that I may have messed up. Oh, okay, I see. So instead of, this is fixed. So fixed is when you can just directly put what the title is, but what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to put it as an expression, right? Because then it's able to fill in this information. So let's try this again. I'm gonna delete this event again. Oh no, I didn't see. Sorry. Okay, let me show you what I was doing. So for the create event here, I had it as like fixed over here, and that's why I just directly made the title that. But what I really wanted to do is actually make it into an expression, so it's able to populate what the title is with the instruction for the agent to figure out what the title of the event is supposed to be. So let's actually try this again. So can you schedule an event for going to the gym at 3 p.m. and then we'll test the workflow again. And there you go. Do you guys see that? Go to gym 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Yeah, so that's how you add tools to doing this. And this is like the kind of the most important part of everything, and then all the other like supporting areas is all kind of like going back here in order to feed into the agent and whatever it is agent is outputting as well. So this is like the most simple example of what an agent can look like. All it is input, do stuff, have tools and things like that, and memory, and you have an LLM, and then it has an output that it's sending to somewhere, in this case Telegram. All right, so I want to move back here and actually show you guys that there's a lot more that you can do from this. You can do it using NAN as well. So you can actually have like multiple agents that you can add as well. Like all you have to do is here, and then you can try to add like another, another AI agent. So you can just keep on like adding more and more things. So I'm going to stop here and see if anybody has any comments before I go on to talk about what other kind of workflows that you can build. No, I keep doing that stupid thing where... Okay, I'm gonna stop switching my screen back and forth because I can't remember to switch it back in. But yeah, what I was saying is that here you can add in another agent. Like, let's... Oh, also save your workflows. This happened to be so many times. I would just like make it and then I did not, because it doesn't auto save. I don't know why it doesn't auto save. And then you lose everything, so keep saving it. Yeah, I was saying that you can add like additional things like another agent here. You can add like more agents, right? Like I'm not gonna do that right now, but here's like an additional agent that you can add, and you can like connect things together to do whatever it is that you want. So let's delete this for now. Let's see if anybody has any comments before I talk about more complex systems. Debugging your demo again, literally. That's part of the whole process, right? My greatest fear is like, oh no, it doesn't work, freak out, and try to debug it in front of 416 people, and you guys are all judging me when I don't know how to type. That's literally my greatest fear. Can you make a video on how to make a chatbot? I'll be very thankful. Yeah, I mean, I don't really make tutorial videos, but I could start making more tutorial based videos if it's something that people are interested in doing. I'm a developer, just learned about building agents. I have installed NAN on a local server to self-host locally. I haven't built any workflows yet, so this is very informative. Thanks. I'm glad to hear that. Yep. So don't forget, pin comment if you want the workflow that we can directly input into NAN, and just like other things as well. Just sign up for that like now so that you can get the email in a couple of hours. How is this different from LangChain? Great question. So honestly, it's the same. Like this is simply like a no code variation of doing it. Like you see how it's pretty much just drag and drop, right? Like you can inject Python and JavaScript and variables into it. This is primarily just targeted for people who don't know how to code, or like, you know, they're just trying to build something, and obviously the price point is going to be more expensive. I can show you the prices in a bit. Actually, after I go through some things, price point is going to be different. If you know how to do it through code, you're essentially doing the same thing, but it's just not going to be like this kind of like UI, this visual sort of situation. It's going to be done through code, but you're implementing the same thing. Yes. Any other questions? This is great. Thank you for doing these live streams. Is switch in your flow a gateway programmatic check? Oh, great question. Let me actually show you that. So switch, it's literally just routing. So it's routing between two different things. Telegram is coming and I'm basically telling it to route between whether it's a text message or it's a voice message. So if it's a text message, it goes into the text field, and then you're editing fields, feeding it into the AI agent. And if it's a voice message, it goes through extracting. So this is when Telegram, you need to extract the voice information. And then we're using OpenAI here, not for any like for any other reason. It's not an agent. You're using OpenAI to transcribe the voice information into text and then feeding it into the AI agent. Yes. Any other questions? Are you saving this live? I got here. Yep, it will be saved. Don't worry. Do not worry. Can you show us the link? Yeah. Here, I'll send you guys the link here as well. Please do like check this out before you build agents, especially if you're not very familiar with agents. You can also watch my video on that as well, because you might just end up building workflows that aren't really agentic systems. Okay, so it looks like we're about good with what we're doing right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually just going to go through some of those other workflows, right? So what I showed you was like a very, very simple workflow, and I showed you how you can add a lot more agents, you can add a lot more complexity to this. And here are some general workflows that Anthropic suggests that we can start trying out. One of them is prompt chaining. So prompt chaining decomposes a task into a sequence of steps. So where each LLM call processes the output of the previous one, you can add programmatic checks, see gate in the diagram below, or any intermediate steps to ensure the process is still on track. So that's actually a good question. The gate over here is the switch that you see here. That is the gate where you're just defining different rules that are going to be available. You can kind of see that. You can see the similarity, I hope, right, between these different workflows. So in this case, it also tells you when do you want to use this kind of workflow. So LM call here is like agent 1, maybe agent 2, and agent 3, and you're passing it through like multiple different things. This workflow is ideal for situations where the task can be easy and cleanly decomposed into fixed subtasks. The main goal is to trade off latency for higher accuracy. By making each LM call an easier task. Instead of having one LM call do like a bunch of different things, by breaking it apart, you'll be able to ensure that each step is going to be done more cleanly and correctly. Examples: creating marketing copy, then translating it into a different language, writing an outline of a document, checking that the outline meets certain criteria, then writing a document based on the outline. So yeah, you're basically just building out a sort of workflow and building out the task so that each agent and each step is able to match a certain step for the final output that you get. It's also helpful because you can test each step along the way as well while you're doing it, as opposed to if you fully just go like, hey, like build this marketing copy, your instructions are in English and you're trying to build a marketing copy that's ultimately in like Spanish or something. If it does go wrong, it gets hard to debug if you don't break it down. Another workflow here is going to be routing. So routing classifies an input and directs it to a specialized follow-up task. This workflow allows for separation of concerns and building more specialized prompts. Without this workflow, optimizing for one kind of input can hurt performance on other inputs. So what it looks like is you have input over here, LM call router. So you're routing between these 3 different ones. You can think about this like a manager. It's called hierarchical. If you guys watch my video, I don't know how to pronounce that word, hierarchical. But think about this as like a manager agent that is able to delegate a task to other agents that are here to perform something that ultimately all of them come together to have a certain output. This is useful if there's distinct categories that are better handled separately. So examples where routing is useful: directing different types of customer service queries, general questions, refund requests for technical support into different downstream processes, prompts, and tools, and routing easy/common questions to smaller models like Claude, Haiku, and hard/unusual questions to more capable models like Claude 3.5 Sonnet to optimize cost and speed. I think this is a really cool one as well, because I think when we're prototyping, we're not thinking as much about the cost of something. So that's actually really important to know. Remember, like one of the major things, like you can change out any of these things. So you can actually change out the model as well. So redirecting it using a different model, which has access to different tools and different memories as well. Okay, see if anybody has any comments. Any thoughts that you guys have in terms of what kind of workflow are you interested in building right now? Do you have any ideas for that? I'll ask you again after I go through these too. But is there anything that you think would make sense for you to build? Prompting is very important. Yes, please. Prompting is very important. Like this system prompt, not gonna lie, it took me like a while. And I was also taking inspiration from David Andre, I think his name is, and some other people as well. Like this takes time to do for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna link my prompt engineering. Like if you don't know how to do prompting, like please learn how to prompt. Especially if you're creating agents, you really need to learn how to prompt, because your prompts, you need to be able to add like system prompts, be able to add tools, and like be very, very clear in what it is that you're specifying. I'm gonna actually have a video come out on Google AI Studio soon, which I go through like how to do system prompts as well. But for now, I really recommend that you learn prompt engineering. I have a 20-minute crash course video that what is that called, distills Google's 9-hour prompt engineering course, which I think just here, I'll put this here as well. Please learn prompt engineering. All right, please learn prompt engineering. You can prompt. Yeah, but things if you don't know how to prompt, how are you going to prompt for better prompts if your original prompt for prompting for better prompts is not good? Make sense? Better if you just prompt, just learn how to prompt, and then you can prompt for better prompts with your better prompts. All right. Okay, so let's go through God, parallel. Why is it everything so hard to pronounce? Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay, so another words types of these workflows. So there's a bunch of other ones here. So routing is good. Parallelization, I cannot pronounce. I just give up on that one. This one, like for parallelization, is when you want to simultaneously work on a task and have the outputs aggregate programmatically. So you're breaking things down, and then you're gonna aggregate that together. So some examples would be implementing guardrails, where one model instance processes user queries while another screens them for inappropriate content requests. This tends to perform better than having the same LLM call handle both guardrails and core responses, automating evals for evaluating LLM performance. So anything that involves evaluating a different aspect of a certain task is very good for this. And voting as well, that actually makes a lot of sense. You're reviewing a piece of code for vulnerabilities, where several different prompts review and flag the code if they find a problem, evaluating whether a given piece of content is inappropriate, with multiple prompts evaluating different aspects. We're requiring different vote thresholds to balance false positives and negatives. And there's orchestrator workers. Orchestrator worker workflow is a central LLM dynamically. It breaks down a task. So it breaks everything down, delegates them to workers, and then puts things together again. So it's a more complex task over here. Coding products that make complex changes to multiple files each time, and search tasks that involve gathering and analyzing information from multiple sources for possible relevant information. So I'm not going to go through more of these, but yeah, there's like a bunch of these here. I really recommend that when you start building, like try something super simple like this first, and then as you start building it, you realize why this art, like the reason why I'm like you should read this article and I'm going through it is because if you don't have a framework, sorry, no one said. If you don't have a framework, you're just like randomly putting agents out there, you'll quickly realize that the way it's being connected, like you just end up having some weird results. So if you stick to the frameworks that is provided within Anthropic, it would help you quite a lot in terms of how it is that you should be putting different agents together. Okay, so the other one, of course, that we have here, so those are all like agentic workflows, right? So finally, there's agents. So this is where you're basically giving it a lot more leeway in terms of what it is that you want the agent to do. So all it really looks like, humans basically makes an LM call, and then the action, so it goes to the environment, blah, blah. So it kind of literally like does everything by itself. And then it finally stops and gives you a solution. So this is a lot more complex to do. And the likelihood of you getting like a potentially really, really cool result is like you have the potential of getting like something you're like, wow, this is amazing. But you also have the potential of the whole thing just like completely screwing up and you have no idea what happens after that. Both things have happened to me before. And also, if you're making an agent, you have to start thinking about guardrails. Like think about certain ways that you need like infrastructure that you're building around it. So it doesn't just do what it wants and then you don't have control over it. So once you start thinking about sorry, here, where did it go? Agents, yes. Okay, so yeah, once you start thinking about how, wait, why is it doing that? Okay, sorry. Okay, here, my bad. Okay, here. So yeah, once you start thinking about agents, like everything is going through feedback and you're directly interacting with it, there's just a lot more open-ended. And this is, I want to say like most people don't have the ability right now of actually creating a fully autonomous agent and actually have it work properly. It's just not something that you get like some cool results, but I personally wouldn't build an agent unless I have a very good infrastructure and try to deploy it and just kind of like let it do its thing for a client or for myself, because it could potentially do like a lot of some like really strange things that could happen. It's something that people are playing around with, and even more so, like please, if you're going to build fully autonomous agents, oh look, prompt engineering your tools. So they have it here on Anthropic as well. At the very minimum, please learn prompt engineering from the video that I linked over there. It will make your life a lot easier. So when to use agents? Agents can be used for open-ended problems where it's difficult or impossible to predict a required number of steps and where you can't hard code a fixed path. The LM will potentially operate for many turns, and you must have some level of trust. So you got trust. If you have trust issues, that's a problem in its decision making. Agents' autonomy makes them ideal for scaling tasks in trusted environments. So here's some following examples: is a coding agent to resolve sweep bench tasks, which involves edits to many files based on a task description. Our computer use reference implementation, where Claude uses a computer to accomplish a different task. So it kind of showcases the flow of a coding agent. So query to the LLM, and there's like, you see how there's like multiple interactions that are happening between the LLM and the environment over here. And a lot of these things like is not going to be within your control. So if you're going to be building something like this is going to require a lot of testing and just basically like a lot of refinement of prompt is what is probably going to happen. Anyways, really, really great article. Really recommend that you check it out. Yeah. Cool. So I do want to show you guys. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Jivaden. Very informative. Thanks for putting this together. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I feel very appreciated. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, and we're at time. Oh my god, why does time always pass so quickly whenever I'm live streaming? So if you're going to do anything, okay, here's how I would put it, right? If you're going to take a course, if you have the motivation to take a course, I highly recommend that you take this one. For people who know how to code, I really recommend that you take this one using Career AI to build out stuff. It's going to give you a lot more control over something like NAN, because here it's like, you know, you're limited to how does these things are interacting, and you're also limited to what is going to be happening in here. Yeah, and then obviously like you can code your tools and stuff, but you're honestly still pretty limited, and it's also a lot more expensive. Let me actually double check. I forgot exactly what the pricing is. So let me check what the pricing. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Anyways, it's fine. But basically it is a lot more expensive. So if you know how to code, definitely go do this course on Career AI. Alternatively, there's a couple notebooks that I took from Career AI, and this is credits to Career AI. I did not make these, that if you can just play around, if you don't have the attention span to actually like go through the course, which I get. So that's why I'm not, no judgment from me when it comes to this. No judgment at all. Let me actually just pull this up as well. Some notebooks. What did I call it? Live stream notebooks. Event planning. I think this one should be good. Okay, cool. All right, so here is a notebook from Career AI. Let me move my face so you don't have to look at that. I'm trying to make this a little bit bigger as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, so here, like, automate event planning. So it's honestly great. It's a free course, and it gives you some of these notebooks, and it shows you here. So you're installing Career AI, LangChain, community, blah, 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 all these different things. And you can, very brief overview, like you can import the agent. A crew is basically like it's an object where you can have multiple agents together. So you have multi-agent frameworks, and you put them all together as a crew, and a task is what you want the agent to be able to do. Put in your OpenAI key, blah, blah, whatever it is you want to do. Put in your key here to have your LLM, and then you're creating your Crew AI tools. You're creating your agent. So this is like multiple agents, like creating agent 1, creating agent 2, creating agent 3 for marketing and communication, and then finally you're putting everything together. Sorry, actually no, just kidding. You're also creating the task over here. So does that make sense? Like, I know I'm going over this really, really quickly, so sorry about that, but definitely check out the notebook. Is honestly, this is like a really good notebook in showcasing how this works. So you're creating different tasks for different agents, and ultimately you're creating a crew where you're putting together you're matching all the different agents with all of their different tasks and all of their different tools as well, and ultimately you're running the crew together. I'm gonna see if anybody has any quick questions for Career AI, but I hope you can see, even though you might not understand what the code is doing right now because there's just a lot happening, I hope you can see that you're basically doing the same thing programmatically. You're just creating an agent, giving it a bunch of tasks, and putting it into a crew together, and then putting the crew in order and running the crew in order to complete a certain task. So it's the same workflow, just programmatically. See if anybody has any questions. Steve, you're every bit as good live as you post the videos are. Thanks for helping us get our feet wet in AI world. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It honestly makes me really happy. Like, this makes me really happy. I actually get really nervous during live streams. I don't know if you guys can tell. Okay, yeah, let me give you guys the link to this as well. I have it on Google Drive, so again, credit is not to me. This is just a good one that I found from CreAI's course. So if you're not gonna do the course, if you just do this, I think that you would also do fine. Yeah, let me just put the course as well. If you are gonna do the course, this is the course. All Python. Okay, I sent it. Yes, also sign up. I also send it on the, yes, let's do this again. Sign up here. I'll send you guys this notebook. I'll send you guys some of the other notebooks as well from AutoGen as well. There's a couple from CreAI that I think are good. So I'm not going to just like spam you with links right now, but I'll also send it for people who want to try it out programmatically. Are you from Korea? No, I am not from Korea. I am Chinese. I'm currently in Hong Kong though. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, where's Ibrahim? Great question. I actually want to show you guys. So Ibrahim also created a workflow, which I actually haven't even seen yet. He recorded a little demo. Do you guys want to see it? It's a lot more complex using NAN. And I literally have not even seen this yet myself, but I can show you. We can take a look at it together. Let me see if there's any other additional questions first. Thank you, very informative. Yes, thank you so much. Let me know if you have any feedback for these. Do you like it? If you like it, that I do these sort of semi-tutorial based live streams, let me know if you find this to be helpful as well. Always open to feedback. That's how I know what you guys actually like. Yeah, okay, looks like you like it. A crew, aka the homies. Correct. If you had created your example using a coded implementation, how might that improve your agent? That is a great question. Okay, I'm going to answer this last question before I show you guys the demo. If I created the example using a code implementation, first of all, it's going to be a lot cheaper. I'm paying like because I got over my free trial 14 days and then I had to, I kept on using NAN to create these demos and things like that. So I had to like pay a lot more for sure. The other limitation here is that you see, like with CrewAI, you can create agents and then you're able to like put them together as a crew. And then you can actually like also put crews together and have like crews linked to different crews. All of this is not something that you can do using NAN right now. So with NAN, you're kind of limited to the workflow that they currently have that's set up. And also, deployment as well. So using CrewAI, you're able to deploy it and do things a lot more. There's a lot more like flexibility with that. With NAN, you can also deploy it and run it and do all these things as well. But to integrate that into whatever it is that you're building, NAN is going to be a lot more limited. Well, with CrewAI, you can pass like any information that you need, right? You can give it access to any environments, any information, any tools that you want it to have as well. I would say those are the primary big differences. And I guess it's like experimental wise, like you're just not really able to experiment as much just in comparison. There's also one like very specific thing. I don't know how helpful it is if I explain it to you guys because it's very specific to CrewAI. CrewAI, it allows you to have a task with tools. So you have your LLMs, right? Where did it go? Okay, so here, see like the building block of an agent is that your LLM has like certain tools and memories and things like that. But with CrewAI, you're actually able to have your task have certain access to tools as well. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but if you have your task that has certain tools as opposed to your agent that has certain tools, you have more granular control over what tools can be used on a task. So instead of just hoping that the agent chooses the right tool, you can restrict it more so that the task must use a certain tool regardless of what agent it is that you're using. I hope that was clear. So, and there's like other kind of these little things as well, where it just allows you to have a lot more restriction and granularity in terms of how your agents are interacting with a task, with the environment, with each other as well. Was Tina a data scientist? Tina was indeed a data scientist. Tina was a data scientist at Meta. I don't know why I'm talking in third person, but yes, I was. It's also a software engineer, in case anybody did not know that. Okay, let's actually look at Ibrahim's thing. He recorded a loom. Ibrahim, I hope you did not do something bad. Ibrahim, if you're watching this, can you text me? You have like 1 minute to text me if you don't want me to show this publicly right now because you did something bad. Is there something that you said that you would not like everybody to hear? Because if you do not text me within like the next 10 seconds, everybody's gonna hear potentially what it is that you said. Okay, let's wait. I was set. Let's wait 10 seconds to see if Ibrahim will text me about what he may or may not want me to say. Oh God, I hope this is. Ibrahim, 5 more seconds. 5. I'm like getting nervous. 3. Ibrahim can't do wrong. Oh, all right, guys. All right, preface this. If we all get kicked out, if we all get canceled, we'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay, let's see what happens. It's probably fine, right? I'm gonna turn up the gain as well so you guys can hear the audio. Does he have audio? Oh, maybe he doesn't even have audio. Okay, let me make this bigger. Okay, so behavioral interview. I don't think it has audio, but literally you're like watching me. I've never seen this as well, so I'm also gonna try to figure this out along with you guys. Okay, so what it looks like. Can you see my screen? I just want to move my face so y'all don't have to look at my face so large. Let me just get rid of my face. Who cares about my face? If I do that, can you see it? Okay, cool. Okay, so it says behavioral interview assistant. Thanks for taking part in our interview. You will be presented with an unending series of questions to help you prepare for behavioral job interviews. Okay, so apparently this is a behavioral interview assistant. The interviewer is an AI agent and the questions are dynamically generated. When you're done with answers, simply say stop to exit the interview. Sessions are deleted after 24 hours. Can you guys see my screen? I don't want to be talking into the void right now. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah? Why would he do something bad? No, I don't know. I don't think he'll do something bad, but you just in case. Hey Rex, just in case. I'm like, what if he says something that he did not intend for me to publicly show 472 people, you know? Okay, all right. Let's go back to this. Let's see. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so what is your name? So my name is Tina. Okay. Begin interview. Click that. This is actually an UI, by the way. So see how it's like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Okay. Hello, can you tell me your experience with behavioral job interviews and how you felt about them? Please answer the question or type stop interview to end interview. I'd like to practice them. The last time I didn't do very well. Gosh, Ibrahim, what makes you think I didn't do very well? I'm sorry to hear that. What specific challenges did you face during the last behavioral job interview? Please answer the question where type stop interview to end the interview. I didn't practice enough. That's fair. Can you ask me a few ones? What? Oh, a few questions. Okay, absolutely. I can help with that. Can you recall a time when you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal? What was your role and what was the outcome? Please answer the question or type stop interview. Okay. I was a director. Oh, damn. I became a director and had to push a product with a tight deadline. Okay. That sounds intense. Can you describe the steps you took to ensure the team met the tight deadline while maintaining the quality of the product? Stop interview. Okay. Cool. That was pretty cool, right? I mean, we can't. Yeah, I'll ask Ibrahim to also send the workflow in the email as well, but you can see kind of from the side that it is quite complex, whatever it is that. Okay, so it does have a memory. It does actually have a database included into it as well, and it actually built out a UI. So this is an actual like application. Yeah, so there's a lot more that is happening over here in order to achieve this. Yay! It looks like we didn't get our stream didn't stop either because we didn't do anything bad. It's good. Okay. All right. That is the end then of today. Pretty good, right? Yeah. A clap for Ibrahim. Behavior interview questions might be anything. All right. Well, thank you all so much. I hope this was helpful / entertaining. Yeah, and again, I was gonna say something that I forgot. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, and I will send you guys the email with all the information about what we covered today, and you can import stuff into NAN directly. And I'll also link some of the notebooks from AutoGen if you're AutoGen and Crew AI if you're into if you want to challenge yourself with more of a coding implementation. Okay. All right. I will talk to you guys. See you guys either in the next video or live stream. Okay. Bye. The mail sign up is not working. Shoot. Okay. Well, I'm gonna double check that. Okay. Let me double check that actually. It should be working. If it doesn't work, that's not good. It does work for me. Okay. Thanks for the feedback. I will double check that from my end as well to see if we need to fix anything. But okay. All right. See you guys. Bye.